Now, historically, the stock market is calm before a Federal Reserve rate increase. Confidence is high, volatility low, but this time, different. The S&P 500 has tumbled 10% over 4 days in August, and the VIX, the volatility index, has spent nearly 2 weeks above 25, a level that is way above 17. That's the average level when policymakers begin to tighten interest rates. So
now that the equities roadmap is skewed, what other assumptions are causing investors to question a rate hike? Well, here with some insight is Joe Saluzzi. He's a partner at Themis Trading. So, Joe, that's a great, little factoid right there, which is we are seeing so much volatility. We're at, it jumped like 135%. So why would the Fed tighten now?
I'm not going to prognosticate on the Fed. I've given up years ago trying to figure out what those guys are doing. But, I mean, certainly it's causing volatility in the market. And I think August was a particularly volatile month. And we saw the underpinnings of a stock market in particular that doesn't have the robustness that most people thought it did have. And it's probably because so many markets are linked together. When one market sneezes, they all seem to catch cold. And you had all sorts of movements, whether it was in treasuries or currencies or whatnot. And the equity market really didn't do a good job.
But does that put into doubt for you the Fed hiking rates?
I don't know I don't care what they. I mean, to me, well, I do care. Of course, I care what they do. And our job, we're institutional agency traders, so we're trading on behalf of institutions who are making those decisions. But actually, I saw a quote this morning from Larry Summers saying that he thought that since 28%, the market's predicting only a 28% chance of a rate hike, that the Fed shouldn't react. So he's saying that the Fed should act on what the market is predicting. That's kind of backwards to me. I would think it should be the other way around. The Fed should be taking the lead there. But anyway, that's a different story.
High-frequency trading. Just give me like a 10-second description of like what's going on right now in the world of high-frequency trading. What's hot, what's not?
It's still going. I mean, since Michael Lewis's book Flash Boys, there's nothing really changing when it comes to regulations. High-frequency trading is still there. There are different types of high-frequency trading, right? There's market making. There's more predatory stuff that we consider momentum ignition and so on. The regulators still haven't caught up. They still haven't figured it out. They still are waiting and catching up later. You know, there's been some cases, the Nav Soreo case, which is a flash crash trader, which was a big stock. You know, he was one guy. Don't tell me that that's what caused the flash crash. It was caused because of a fragility of the market, the problems in the structure again.
Okay, rather than say, good or bad high-frequency trading, just tell me the extent to which high-frequency trading affects price discovery in all markets, because it's not just the equity market that they're involved in. They're involved big in the U.S. Treasury market, and of course they use a lot of that for hedging.
Well, let's look at, Treasury Secretary Lew, a couple of weeks ago, said that he was concerned, and he didn't, I don't know if he said high-frequency trading, but the types of trading in the market that's causing this market volatility. So is it causing the market volatility, or is it reacting to the market volatility? I would argue that what's happening is that you're seeing movements that are much faster because people are pulling away from the quote. They don't need to be there, and if you're not going to get run over, if all of a sudden a stock is coming down 5%, they just walk away. There's no what we call affirmative obligations and negative obligations like there used to be in the old model. Not that I'm advocating the old model, but if people can move away, it causes vacuums. And when vacuums come in and then maybe a market order comes down, you get prices like you did on August 24th when the ETFs flash crashed down 30 to 50%. 50% on ETFs. That's a problem in the structure.
So is it a given? So because the structure is so different now, the market structure is so different, is it a given that whatever move you see in reaction to the Fed is going to be that much more exaggerated?
I think it's been that way for years. I don't think there's anything new now. The only thing new this month, in the last couple of months, is that the markets are a little bit more, they're amped up, people are nervous, whether it's China and whatnot. But we've been seeing these reactions over the years, every time the Fed moves, every time an ISM number comes out, every time there's an unemployment number. This is nothing new. You see these gaps and you see the liquidity vacuum just disappear. Everyone pulls the quotes, and that's why you have those rapid moves.
Okay, we understand about the liquidity vacuum and price discovery there, but isn't this also unintended consequences? If you get big banks out of the business of trading and out of the business of providing liquidity on a regular basis because the government says, hey, guys, this is too risky. We don't want you doing this with insured bank deposits, so get out of this business. And now where does this business go?
Well, it goes to a provider, like you're saying. A high-frequency market maker may come in and say, hey, there's a void here. There's no liquidity providers left. And whether or not it was a Dodd-Frank rule or whatever it is, you're right. The big banks are pulling back, and a void was created. So now you'll get the machines zipping in and out who don't need to be there. And here's a big difference that most people don't understand. A market maker today is a prop trader, is a proprietary trader that doesn't need to be in the market if he doesn't want to be, as opposed to, let's just say, the specialist or a bank who had customer order flow. Big difference when you have customer order flow and you need to be there to facilitate customer transactions. That doesn't exist anymore. Therefore, you can have rapid movements in a market because a prop trader says, well, I'm going to stand there and take a hit. No, okay, I get it, but that's why we have a market that's
right. Well, that's why you get rid of the middleman, right? But I mean, is this also a case of, it killed the goose that laid the golden egg? Because if, you're a market specialist or you're a market maker, you not only do you have the order, you know where all the orders are. Well,
absolutely. I mean, the specialists had 80% market share back in the New York Stock Exchange days, prior to Reg NMS, which, by the way, Dick Grasso just this weekend called a sad, sad experiment, right? Dick Grasso, of course, protecting the old NYSE model, had some very valid points in an interview that he had this week on a show called Wall Street Week. But the bottom line is there was an obligation. There was a market there. There was a limit order book that had a robust, deep feel to it. And you didn't have the rapid moves that you see on August 24th or October of last year when the bond market had that problem.
Right.
So you don't have it now. You have a different style of book. You have a fragmented book. You have lack of diversity. You've got a book based on payment for order flow, which is ridiculous when you think about it. So all of these conflicts of interest.
Paying people to trade on your exchange.
Paying people, or paying people to intercept a market order from a retail participant. There's a lot of conflicts which creates these problems, and that's why you have structural problems that the regulators, unfortunately, don't want to address at the root cause. They'll tinker around the edges, but they're really not getting to the main problems here. And I was talking to somebody before, when you have, like, say, the NFL sees a rule problem, they created instant replay, or baseball created instant replay, because they knew they had some issues that they had to address, as opposed to our regulators that will continue to let it fester until another August 24th happens, or another May 6th of 2010, or another October of last year.
Or we'll just armchair quarterback it on television.
It's sad. I mean, really is that. And do I expect another flash crash? Yeah, absolutely. Just a matter of when.
All right, thanks. We'll end on that happy note. All right, Joe Saluzzi, thanks very much, a partner at Themis Trading. Now, still ahead.